Yeah. I mean, no.
I ain't switching up at heart, but shit, it is what it is. God damn it. Shit, what's going on? It's your boy DJ 9D. I got the queen with me, Keisha, and I got Kel, and we are the Bridge ATL. Kel, once again, tell them what the Bridge is all about.
I mean, y'all know what it is, man. We just here to bridge the gap, bridge some knowledge with y'all, you know what I'm saying? Get y'all some understanding, some, you know, what Quavo say? Some straightening when it comes to information and stuff y'all might know, what y'all might not know about. So when you think of the bridge, think about it. You're bridging the gap. You're taking that stroll. You're trying to figure some stuff out, you know what I'm saying? You might not know. So holla at us if y'all want some info.
Most def.
Yes, and today we have a fun, interesting show. So when we were planning the show, we were thinking about the different things going on in the world. But, you know, there's been one major thing that has been on all of our minds, and it's been the Alabama Brawl. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about hip-hop had its birthday. It's been around for 50 years. The impact it's had on our community.
Whoop, whoop.
Right? Exactly. We have an artist spotlight, and we're going to talk about Lizzo. Okay, because Beyonce was out here in Atlanta this past weekend, and she signed off. So we're going to get into all of that. But first, we have to talk about the Alabama Brawl, because I really want to know where y'all was at, or when y'all first started seeing these videos pop up. Like, what were y'all thinking?
That shit made me feel good. I ain't gonna lie. I don't condone violence at all. I do not condone violence, ladies and gentlemen. But that shit made me feel good. It made me know that it was possible for us to come together when something's not right. You know, I feel like, you know, other races are misguided by the music we put out today, far as us just being violent and this, that, and the third. But in all reality, man, I feel like we don't start any wars. We don't start any problems with anybody. It's just things that be afflicted upon us that made us react to certain situations in a different way. So when I seen that that whole incident in Alabama, man, I thought it was just going to be another George Floyd, another, you know, not saying he was going to die, but I just thought he was just going to be beaten severely, you know, for no reason. Us, again, just standing on the side, just filming it and putting it on social media. But the fact of the matter is that people actually join a 16-year-old boy. They call him Aquaman instead of Maine, you know. Seeing him swim across the river and everything just to get to that OG, man, it really made me feel good. It gave me hope of just what we can do if we all stick together, man. So that's my thought on that.
Yeah, man, I just,
what about
you know, when I first seen it, you know, everybody was like, "Yo, what's going on, buddy? Swimming across and all that." Oh, she done got the chair and everything. You know, it was a brawl, so it was not just one fight. It was multiple. Mm-hmm. I understand the initial help. You know what I'm saying? Where, okay, let's try to de-escalate this. They fighting and all of that. Let's get these folks away from I guess I think the dude was in security who's getting jumped or whatever. And my thing is this, that's where it should have just stopped at completely. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it got out of hand. You know, from the boat that was looking on and watching everything go down, right, you could feel the tension from that off rip. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of, a lot of stuff was kind of egged on. I just feel like it could have been de-escalated. It shouldn't have went that far. You know what I'm saying? I understand the unity. You know what I'm saying? That is the great thing. That is definitely not something you see every day, especially with somebody you don't know. I don't like the situation in general because it became a race thing. I don't think it ever should have become a race thing. I think it's just, you know, a bad situation that happened, and then, you know, we look at it as, oh, we finally got the ass. You know what I'm saying? We finally came together.
I mean, the audacity though, bro. The audacity of feeling like you over everybody. You know, you was at the Marriott, the Harriet dock, and feel like you can board or just leave your boat right there. You know, the entitlement. You know, that's been happening for years. I'm not trying to make it a race thing, or anybody. I don't think anybody try to make it a race thing, but we always seen that, feeling like, you know, you're above everybody and everyone. You know what I'm saying? So all of that shit could have been prevented from the get-go. But the fact of the matter is, some dude from the side came over there and put hands on him when he was just telling him to move his boat, man, that's just absurd, bro.
I agree, but something like that shouldn't have ended up in a brawl. Is what I'm saying. That's the main thing I'm saying.
He was
it's
getting
like,
jumped, man. I mean,
brawl though.
Yes, he was getting jumped, bro.
I'm talking about like not outside of just that fight. We talking about going past that, going into when the boat actually lands, and then they still doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's like it shouldn't have escalated that. I don't care what situation that is. Because that's not a situation where something like that should happen regardless. The thing is, when it comes to us needing to progress or, you know what I'm saying, have that kind of rapport with them, we need to de-escalate, bro.
You know that was, when I seen that, when it became a brawl, that was time marinated.
Yeah, I agree.
That was time marinated. We let a lot of things pass, but when that happened, it was understandable. Yes, it shouldn't have been like a big brawl, but at the end of the day, it was just certain things that happen time and time again that we haven't done nothing about it. Yeah. And the fact of the matter is that somebody actually attempted to prevent something from happening like that again, which led everybody, it was like a bit domino effect.
My thing is because it became a meme. It became funny.
Well, okay. I mean, first of all, I get that part that you're saying. A lot of times what I don't like about how things may happen in the Black community and it becomes a joke.
Yeah.
So that's what I stand by that. Yeah. Like, everything is not always funny. Everything is not meant to be taken lightly and it's supposed to be a joke. The memes that came out from this, I am still laughing at them. When I see someone with chair, anything, it makes me laugh. However, that is the only thing I agree with you here. Like, I cannot sit back and just be like, oh, well, it should not have gotten that far. No, I'm glad it got that far. I'm not a violent person, but to me, it was justified, if you ask me, because if you're saying it shouldn't have been about race, this was rooted in racial discrimination. Absolutely. He thought that he was superior over this person, thinking he did not have to do or obey any law. Mm-hmm. For one, that I cannot stand when I see people, to say this, white people, because I have white friends, when they try to act as if they are the law and that they don't have to follow the law, the rules that are not that they don't have to follow, that they are trying to follow the rules and act as if they are law enforcement. Right. But then want to turn around when something is like saying there's a rule, okay, you have to move your boat. Right. But now you want to say, oh, I don't have to move my boat. What are you talking about? Someone just come and try to enforce something, but you feel like you're above it. So how do you feel that you are the person that can determine whether or not what should be enforced or not enforced? Come on, man. That's insane to me.
Shout out to Karen.
It's absolutely, and I hate, and that, even the Karen thing. I do not like that. That's the worst thing you can call a white woman, a Karen. Come on now, like, that's insane to me. I'm like, come on, come stronger with some better words, because if you talking about Black women, you're gonna say, oh, you're angry, like, it's always something, and it's just like, it blows my mind. So like I said, I have white friends, I have non-Black friends who are from different races, and I love them dearly. And so we have these real conversations so that we can be able to understand one another better, so that there could be this dialogue that says, you know what, like, I'm not going to just take this lightly and move on past it. No, we're not doing that. Not if you're my friend, we're not doing that. Oh, yeah. So I'm very big on, like, I hate that it got this far, but I understand why it did. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was past due for, in my opinion, white people of privilege or trying to insert superiority over Black people to see. We're not going to just be quiet and just stand back on the sideline and be passive and record. No, that's not what we're doing. But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying.
I don't think I'm not for the passiveness. Like I said, I'm absolutely for the unity of helping the man out. Yeah. Like I said, it's just the overspill. I feel like I look at it like this, right? So I look at it MLK style. I'm gonna go help my brother. I'm going to de-escalate and not try to, you know what I'm saying, do what they just did to us. You know what I'm saying? We're going to chill on the peaceful. We're going to try to make sure that they don't try to mess with us and nothing like that. That's just what I'm on. It's like,
we're trying to coexist peacefully together.
That's stronger than me than us reacting the same way that they reacted to us, because that's what actually worked.
But if you look at the video, when the security guard was getting jumped, it was a brother coming down there trying to...
Yeah, I see that, They all was doing that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know?
Like I said, one thing...
But then they started swinging on him, too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I get it. You know what I mean? I understand the comeback and all of that. Like I said, my personal opinion is I wish the display was more of de-escalation rather than a return of violence. You know what I'm saying? That's my whole thing.
I
Mind you, we are absolutely justified in what happened. Don't get it twisted. That is justified. I'm just saying what I would rather see when it comes to real unity, because I done seen 1,000 brawls, 1,000 fights and all that, and it ain't never come up with I ain't never feel unified in that because it never felt like a resolution happened.
You know
like
what?
I said, I feel like the outcome became jokes and everybody making memes and videos about it when it should have been like, you know what, them folks did wrong. We need to condemn them about that, and that's not happening enough.
It's a lot of
my
hate.
opinion.
It's a lot of violence in this world. It's no choice but to make a laugh of it. If you don't laugh at anything, me personally, if you don't laugh at any of the pain and hurt that we go through or whatever in some type of aspect, bro, you would be sick. You would be depressed. That was the whole
that's
point
cool.
of comedy even existing.
That's cool,
Laughing
but
at the racism and everything like that. Because you got to, bro. The world is a cruel place. You know? So if you don't laugh at anything, if you don't make the light out of something that was just built up pain for years and years to come, bro, you will go insane.
Yeah, I agree, but like I said, I feel like if I'm trying to resolve something and make sure people understand what I've got going on, don't laugh. I don't think it's not funny. This is not a funny thing to talk about.
I agree with
You know what I'm saying? That's my main thing. If we're trying to take this serious, we're really trying to show people, hey, this is not okay. There's nothing funny about that from that point on, in my opinion. Which is why I feel like if we had just de-escalated completely, there wouldn't have been as many jokes. It would have been more, okay, these people really was out here trying to stop something was going on. It'd have more real, serious national attention instead of being memes and videos and everybody doing skits and stuff like that. But he put a red beam on a chair and pointed it at a wall. It's funny. It's hilarious. I ain't gonna lie. But that's my thing is I see the people laughing at this shit instead of actually sitting down and thinking, okay, all this shit was wrong. That's just me though.
So I think yeah, I can completely agree with what you're saying in terms of not making everything a joke.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, why are we gonna laugh at our pain, right?
Right.
Like, legit,
Exactly.
like, why are we making this joke out of years of hurt
Exactly.
and, you know, displaced aggression and, you know, not really dealing with the issue at hand, you know? Like, I say this all the time. I remember Charlamagne said this, can't keep passing down trauma and calling it culture.
Right.
Just cannot do
100.
that. It's
Oh,
just,
man.
it's so unhealthy,
Yeah,
right?
very.
And so, to me, that is a sign of me showing, like, seeing, like, when people are joking about this, it's like, ooh, no, we need to start getting laws
Get
passed.
serious,
We need
yeah.
to definitely make sure that, you know, things are being set up and in place
Right.
that people know, like, okay, what are we going to take this to the next step to be able to say, like, we don't want to have something like this happen again.
Exactly.
You know, but I do think that the violence was justified
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the man didn't ask for it. And then for it to have become a brawl, that was the reason why it became so, the video was surfacing and passing around the internet the way it did. If it wasn't a brawl, I don't think that it would have gotten
No.
the attention that it did.
Absolutely
And
not.
so to me, when I talk to people, black people about it, the people I know, everyone, like how you said, DJ 9D, like you said, like you see this kind of like banding together kind of moment. And it's a pride that comes from that you're like, okay, like it sucks that it had to go this far, but at the end of the day, we're not our ancestors where we're going to just be passive right now at this point. You know, we're going to inflict some type of force. So you cannot be inflicting force on us without anticipating that you're going to receive it back, because now you are. So now you got to be prepared to get it back, right? And so that's why I say, even Charlamagne, I remember he even said, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank with the guy's name, but he was running in, and he had, he got killed when he was on his run. Oh my God. I remember he was a very handsome gentleman, brown skin. He had a suit on. I remember
in South Georgia.
Yeah,
What are you
I'm
talking
drawing a
about?
blank for
Yeah.
his name. Oh my God, please forgive me. But I remember Charlamagne mentioned this. He said, I wish that if he had his gun, I'd rather him be fighting for his life in terms of in jail because he had a gun and he had shot somebody, then now he can't even speak for himself because he's no longer here.
a double-edged
So to
sword.
me, I look at it like the violence is it's unfortunate that it has to get to this point, but when you're fighting, you cannot. It's like you can't just always be peaceful.
No, yeah,
It's just not
we're
an
at a
option.
disadvantage in America. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So it's not like I'm not condemning us for doing what we had to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just I feel like Martin Luther King did the most successful run in terms of making progress for us, and it was nonviolence, 1,000%. It was de-escalation, nonviolence, and I feel like that should be taken more serious because I feel like once he died, we kind of went back to the violence, and I just want to see a larger
It wasn't
display.
enough violence.
It wasn't enough.
Don't get it twisted.
And I'm talking about reactionary violence. Not I'm going out. I'm not. See, that's a difference here.
Yeah.
Black people are not saying I'm going out to look for this fight. I'm not looking for these white people to go terrorize them. That is not what's happening here.
Right.
They were on the dock having their own doing their own little merry lives, having their own little merry day, and they were reacting to the violence that was being inflicted on them or their brother. You get what I'm saying?
Buddy with the chair though, going too crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like you kind of okay. I get it now. I'm going. White lady on the side sitting down. You gonna just smack her on the head? Okay, you know.
All I'm saying is, laugh at your pain. Laugh at your pain. Take it seriously. And take the Malcolm approach of it. Don't look for violence, but
look the Malcolm approach.
Yeah, if you get hit back.
You hit back.
Oh no, yeah.
Straight
that's
up and
really
down.
what it is.
I respect Martin Luther King for what he did, but at one point in time, he did say he led his people into a burning building at one point, and I feel like it's a cause and effect. If you hit me, I hit you. Point blank. Period. You don't hit me, and I'm just over here kumbaya and peaceful. Because it would never change, bro. It would never change. We've been kumbayaing for a long time.
Has it changed though?
No.
What?
Because why? We've been hitting back since MLK died.
What?
We ain't been hitting back.
No. At all.
We've been sitting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Give me a situation where we sat. Where we sat at?
Come on,
Give me
bro.
a situation where we sat.
George Floyd.
We sat for George Floyd?
Yes.
Just standing back watching the film. Like,
we was
just filming
kumbaya marching, bro. Come on now. You ain't see that?
What's his name? King. Rodney King.
Rodney King?
Yeah, we sat back?
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. A riot is not hitting back, my brother.
I mean, that happened and nobody knew that was going down. Like, it was a couple people out there. But what I'm saying
is... A riot is not hitting back. Hitting politically...
Yeah.
And being on some... I know the government don't like this because they the one who took it down. Being on that Black Panther shit...
Yeah.
That's making moves. That's hitting. You know what I'm saying?
But how have we progressed?
Tearing up your own community is not hitting back, bro.
Exactly, but that's what we had. That's what we did after that happened. What I'm saying is, what progress do we make whenever we hit back? Is what I'm saying. Whenever we went back and went crazy on somebody, when do we make progress?
What I think happens is there's this silent understanding that okay, maybe I can't do if hitting back is the answer, right? You can't just do whatever you want to do when you know somebody is going to hit you.
No, I agree.
Back.
I agree. You know what I'm saying?
You get what I'm saying?
Like you said, reactionary. I get the reactionary part.
Yeah.
I'm saying like when it comes to, because I get what you're saying, how everybody was just standing there with George Floyd. That wasn't right. I agree. You know what I'm saying? You see a man, he dying out here. But you also know why they had to stand back. You know what I mean? Those men were in power.
Why they had to stand back, huh?
Those men was in power. And so they felt like they would have got threatened or hit as well.
They put on their pants just like us.
I agree, but they have guns, and they're the ones that are protected.
We
whenever
have guns.
No,
we
but listen.
Other.
I'm talking about the people who are outside. We're talking about regular civilians, like outside against police officers with guns.
Regular civilians.
You got to understand.
In
like
our
I said,
community,
we are at a I'm saying like the people who were taking pictures.
Yeah.
Were just regular people outside of a store looking at police officers killing another man. They have no guns. We're talking about women and children out here. Yeah, they care, but they can't do it. What are they going to do? We are at a disadvantage, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like we are at a disadvantage. So we gotta think smart.
For the fact
that we think automatic violence off rip, bro, that's never going to progress.
Automatic violence would have been automatically inflicted on us.
We are at a disadvantage.
It don't matter if you got a disadvantage. You got to be
tactical with this shit, bro.
Okay, so this is what I'll say. I can see what I think. I'm gonna try to bridge this gap real quick. Okay,
right.
I'm gonna try to do it. I'm gonna attempt. I believe what you're saying, DJ9D, is responding with violence is appropriate if you're responding. It's called self-defense. There are laws that protect self-defense, right?
Yeah.
And you're saying, okay, yes, there are laws that have protected for self-defense, but you're saying this is not the only way of doing things. So are you trying to say maybe this is the gap? there has to be a step further where you're not just hitting back physically, but maybe you're hitting back politically in some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely.
Are you saying that there are ways to hit?
Yeah,
but that's what I'm just trying to say. Maybe that's the way this is.
Don't just do it. Just don't do it in pure violence. You got to be smart. Like you got, like I said, you got to do it tactically.
Pure violence. I never said
No.
pure
Right?
violence.
No. Exactly. That's why I'm trying to bridge the gap. I'm just trying to do it because I'm attempting it because I feel like it's one of those things where you are both wanting the same result.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? You guys are both wanting the same result, but you guys are trying to get there two different ways. So there's nothing wrong with the approach in which you guys are trying to get to the end result, which is the end result is we want to live in a world where we're not feeling like we have to be uncomfortable because people want to fight and beat up on us. So we're trying to say, let's not do that, where we're trying to respond with violence. And then you're saying, if that's what it takes for you to be not wanting to fight us, then that's what we're going to do. If it takes for us to be violent and that makes you step back, then that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
That's what I'm just kind of hearing.
All right, I know we spend so much time on this topic, but I want to
It's a passionate, I feel like it is something that has to be talked about because we have not talked something about.
We don't have we don't have a real leader to like really put us together and really try to find a game plan for all of this anyway.
I got you.
So that's why we're going to have these kind of talks. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have Discord when it comes to that.
All I want to say is grow your own food, educate yourself, learn how to use bare arms and everything like that. Learn about your history, and only then learn about some political aspects of things too, the economy and everything. And only then you will be free.
100.
And if you have to inflict violence, then by getting violated on, then so be it.
Absolutely.
Point blank period.
100.
All right.
Yeah, no, you're so
like
funny.
this, yeah.
No, you're
Facts.
so funny because at the end of the day, yes, there's different things that you have to make sure you focus on yourself that you know how to do. So that way, when it comes down to it, you not just out here willy-nilly, you can't do nothing for yourself,
Right.
But yeah, this is definitely one of those things where you see like we're responding to something, right? We're responding to something and we're kind of like making the best out of it, right? Which is exactly what hip-hop was. See how I did that there? Hip-hop was a response to, you know, the different things happening
in the community
to black people, you know?
Especially in 1989.
Exactly. So people were really sick of it. And so they took your approach where they weren't necessarily fighting back, but they were using their pen to write and tell stories.
That's right. Yeah.
So if you may love that the hip hop started kind of like that, not the hip hop, Lord Jesus, the hip hop started like that, and it kind of caused this culture to start being, I guess,
give us power.
Written and right. So telling your own stories and being able to share your experiences so that the world can hear it, but also so that people who look like us can show see okay, this is my brother. Like we going through the same thing.
Exactly.
So yeah, so I want to know what y'all think about hip hop turned 50. Been around 50 years.
So August 11, 1973 is when hip hop was born. We just passed August 11, 2023. 50 years when hip hop was born. I caught the show. They did a show at the Yankee Stadium, of course, in New York, which I thought was such a beautiful thing. It was definitely the perfect place at the perfect time to do the whole event. I mean, they had artists from Dougie Fresh, Rakim, who else? T.I., Lil Wayne, Slick Rick.
Yeah, Busta Rhymes up there, right?
Busta Rhymes, Nas, Lauryn Hill, all the ladies of hip hop, MC Lyte, Queen Latifah. They had the whole nine laid out, and I just thought it was a beautiful thing. And they gave DJ Kool Herc, which was the founding father of hip hop,
he made the party. Yeah, he did the party.
Yep, he threw the party in 1973, and that whole shebang. They had they had Mobb Deep out there, Wu-Tang, Dipset. It was such a beautiful thing, man, because I feel like that bridged the gap for the new generation to know the artists before them, how they pretty much laid the foundation and everything for us to have hip hop today. You know, so shout out to all the MCs that did their thing out there. And man, 50 years, man, it's such a beautiful thing. What you think about it, bro?
You know, I love the fact that hip hop has lasted so long, and it's become one of the most defining genres in music today. Like you said, like we said earlier, you know what I'm saying? It was like Keisha said, it was us that created something to basically give out a message. And shout out to the message. You already know. We talked about it last show.
Oh yeah.
The message was one of those songs that definitely elevated hip hop to another level. Rapper's Delight. You know, those kind of people created music, created hip hop to basically tell everybody what was going on in our community. And it became a global phenomenon. And like I said, it gave us power. Power that we did not know would elevate us to this spot right now. It influenced sports, fashion, many other things that today people are still, you know, they show, even if they don't know it, hip hop has created something for them.
Yeah.
Now, the crazy part is, I feel like in 50 years, that particular hip hop is dying. You know what I mean? And that I think it is during the 50-year anniversary, it is not the same. For the better or the worse, I can't say that because music evolves. So I can't. I'm gonna have my opinions on current music that is considered hip hop today. I do not believe all of it has the same message. I do believe that there are rappers today, people who are involved in hip hop, that are at the top of their game, and some of the best. Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, they are some of the best who ever do it, in my opinion. And they're still doing music today. But when it comes to the quantity of rappers of that caliber, or the caliber of rappers from back then, and people who are involved in hip hop, I think that has died. I think it is shifting, but it makes sense because I think hip hop has given us expression. You know what I mean? Like a lot of expression in terms of how we want to show music and stuff like that.
Okay, I agree with you on that to a certain aspect because I feel like any good music, any art that you put out, it lasts forever, just like the Mona Lisa picture.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, I understand certain kids, younger youth wouldn't know who they are, but for the hip hop heads, this is the difference between the love of hip hop and just a hip hop head. A hip hop head knows the history behind all
everything.
Of this. You know, I listen to Cap Calloway, Stylistics, Delphonics. This is before my time.
That boy, yeah.
Yeah, this is before my time, and this was the 1970s, and you talking about over 60, 70 years, you know, and I still listen to it today, and it still resonates today.
Right.
All our hip-hop artists sampled their songs, which guided throughout the whole two generations to come. So I understand why you would say, oh, it's going to die or next 100 years or whatever, but if you listen to the music and listen to the samples, you hear the music that was laid down before them in time. So.
No, I think it's like, you know, how disco, I don't think people like look at 70 discos the same as today's disco.
Right.
But disco itself is still what it is, you know what I'm saying? I think I won't say it's dying, I'll just say it's turning into a different genre that's going to be not considered hip hop but something else.
Right.
But you know that particular hip hop is going to last forever.
Right.
Absolutely. So
right.
Definitely, you know, 50 years is a long time, man. And
so
the boys they're going crazy. You know what I mean? They went crazy. They definitely shaped me. Most likely shaped you.
Oh yeah.
Growing up,
I ordered about 10 more vinyls, bro. I swear.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a fantastic genre. And it's poetry at its finest.
Yes,
you know
man. Shout out to hip hop. Also DJ Unique. He was in New York too with Mr. Cheeks.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
He was chilling with KRS One, Big
Teacher.
Daddy Kane, the whole nine, man. They just had a Queen Latifah, LL Cool J. It was a beautiful thing. So once again, hip hop. Shout out. 50 years, man. Let's go for 1,000, a million more, and we're gonna keep it moving. So. Now I want to get into the artist spotlight. I feel like it was such a unfortunate thing that just happened to Tory Lanez. As y'all know, Tory Lanez just got sentenced to 10 years in prison for shooting Meg Thee Stallion. I'm saying that right? Meg Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
And everything. What's your thoughts on that, man?
Oh man, it's been crazy, bro. Like Twitter sphere. I feel like today, I feel like I'm gonna have like the weird opinion. I don't know, it's crazy, but bro, how do I say it, man? 10 years. Tory Lanez, he had what on his head when he was on trial? Do you remember? It was like 20-some years.
Yeah, I think like 20-something.
Okay. Now, he had what 10? He had like 10 years, right, or something
10
like
years, yeah. If he have good behavior, I feel like he gonna get out like at least in 8.
that. I think they say 8. Yeah, I think 8 was the thing. So
serve 80%.
because I know he served some of his already. He's been in there.
Right.
Seen a lot of opinions on Twitter. Everybody, the judge put out letters sent to him during trial, which is crazy. That's the craziest shit I've ever seen, by the way, where a judge like fully exposes people's letters that they sent to the judge in order to say, hey, he should be acquitted. That's kind of crazy. Iggy Azalea, I think I forgot who else. It was somebody else. There was that sent him. Bro, they had his hair loss dude that gave, helped him get his hair back. His letters up there. That shit was crazy. But yeah, so all this to say, Tory Lanez, if you didn't do it, bro, you should have said who did it, bro. I don't know what to tell you. Megan got shot. That's just the reality of it. She got shot. It doesn't matter how long it took for her to say that somebody shot her. And I think that was one of the arguments. That does not matter. It doesn't matter if she said that she had glass in her foot or something else happened to her.
Try to tell Bill Cosby that shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. The fact is, at some point, she was a victim to a shooting. Mm-hmm. And justice says we got to figure out who did it, right? Especially if she feels slighted. Now, he said he didn't do it. Evidence says that the GSR, which is basically like the gunpowder and stuff like that, the residue, was on his hands and Kelsey's hands, but she pointed him out. He said, now he didn't fully explain or say who did it. He just said it wasn't me. But the victim is on trial. I mean, she's on. She's there basically saying that you did it. So you have to defend yourself, bro. I feel like at this point, if you feel like you ain't do it, you need to say who actually did it. So. Yeah. Because you didn't say who did it and she pointed you out, bro. Like Tony Yayo said, if the victim is alive whenever they get shot at and you take it to trial, you're gonna get convicted. It's like 1 + 2 = 3. Mm-hmm. So you already know, bro. To try to beat that's crazy. But I guess you feel like you could have beat it. I don't know, but in my opinion, bro, you should have said Shorty did it. If you didn't do it. So I don't know. I don't even know what to say. Did he do it?
So he got
it all leads to him.
So he got 6 years for shooting and 4 years for possession.
Yeah.
Of the firearm. Yeah. Oh, wow. Keisha, what you think
about
this whole situation?
As far as I'm concerned, the details of this situation it's unfortunate. I think that the biggest thing that I keep seeing or thinking about when it comes to this is, I remember she was really big on saying, like, protect Black women. So I remember, like, that was, like, her message for a minute. I think that I remember, if I'm remembering correctly, on Saturday Night Live, that was, like, she was saying, like, Black women are, the speech, like, the least protected, respected, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so to me, I feel like this is one of those things where I have a public relations background, right? And I look at this, and I hate to say this, it's not a gimmick, but I look at this like, is this one of those things where it went so hard because this idea of protecting Black women, is that why this was, like, they were trying to put him, like, under the jail, basically, And so to me, it saddens me to know that he has that much time in jail or prison, for doing this, because I feel like I didn't see it getting to that point.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I didn't see it getting to that point.
That shit came out of nowhere.
I am very big on, like, to me, the trial took place outside of the courtroom, if you ask me.
Yeah.
People were considering him guilty, not guilty, but it wasn't the jury. I'm talking about the shade room. Right. Okay, I'm talking about the people who are watching
Twitter,
this from the outside. Twitter, everywhere. That's how it took place, right?
Yeah.
And so to me, I'm hearing things as, like, you guys are hearing things, and it's just like, dang, like, oh my God, that's sad. Like, I feel like it's crazy. But I do also feel like at the same time, like, if you are doing something like this, you have to know that it's going to come with consequences.
Right.
So I do not like that. I feel like we're watching brothers and sisters fight in public, and we're seeing it happen on a large stage where now we're seeing like, okay, a black guy shot a black woman and now he's going to jail for it. And it's just like, dang, like this is what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like this is happening. And so it's unfortunate that it had to get to this point. You know what I mean? So I wish it didn't happen like this.
It's the slander on top of everything too, though. Like the back and forth, like, she was doing this when we were doing this together, and it's like, bro, y'all out here, it's like it was a nightmare, bro. It was
So as we know, you know, time changed. A lot of shit changed within years. You know, 10 years, 8 years, or whatever. Do y'all think he's still going to be relevant within the game?
Yeah, because Tory Lanez as an artist he wasn't your typical artist. He did R&B and hip hop. And he was actually talented. He was actually good at that. You know what I mean? I think if you're a good artist, you can stay in jail and come out and do work. Will he be as relevant from the jump? No. You know what I mean? Like, of course, it's going to definitely hit to his popularity, and especially because he's convicted of shooting another woman, especially Meg Thee Stallion. As you see, even her right now, her reputation took a hit, and she the one who got shot.
Yeah.
So it's like they both are going to take a hit when it comes to that. But will he ever jump to the stardom that he is now or that he was before? I can't call it. You know what I mean? Hip hop is changing.
What about you,
The whole thing is changing.
What?
You think he gonna be relevant?
Oh, I don't know. I really don't know. At this point, I kind of look at it like the way cancel culture is, I don't even know
you'll never
that things are going to work out in his favor in that regard. Because even with the whole, like, to me, I look at this like also like with the Lizzo situation, right? There are allegations that are coming out, and so to me, people are quick to convict you, like I said, outside of the courtroom, right? Like they're quick to be like, oh, you did it, or oh, you didn't do it. You know, of course, it's supposed to say you're guilty. I mean, you're innocent until proven guilty, but a lot of times it seems like it's more like guilty until proven innocent, right?
Right?
So to me, even just thinking about how you're hearing people coming out talking about the Lizzo situation and how you're hearing people that were coming out talking about the Tory Lanez situation, everybody had an opinion about what's going on. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate, like I said, like I think that with Tory Lanez, how he was, with Megan Thee Stallion, how I said that she was the one talking about, you know, respect black women. It's like, it's unfortunate that it seems like he's the one that is, no, I can't say he's the one that's kind of getting like the short end of the stick, because if he did it, he did it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's sad that it's seeming like, man, the time doesn't seem justified, right? Like by what seems
It should
like
have been
happened.
quicker.
It seems like it should
have been
like he should have gotten jail time, but I feel like it should not have been overall 10 years, even if it's like, it seemed like it was like, I don't know if that's the max penalty, but it seems like that's the max to me. Like for, what was it, 4 years for possession and 6 for the shooting.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Is that like I don't know. It just seems crazy to me. But in terms of the Lizzo situation, you know, her being, she had the story, she had a dancer who were hired on, you know, how she was going on tour and how she was doing body positive things, you know, making sure that her dancers were, you know, voluptuous women, you know what I mean? And them being represented and making sure that they were loved on as well. And so the story is going that, you know, she was being like, I guess, abusive towards I think some of the dancers or one of the dancers.
It was like she was basically. You remember what happened with Ellen DeGeneres, and they were saying, "Hey, she's actually terrible to work with." That's basically what it sounded like.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
she feeling herself pretty much.
Yeah. That's what it sounded like.
And that's what I'm saying. We don't know the full details yet.
See, y'all holding people on that pedestal, and they start feeling themselves. You know.
I mean, I feel like I want to know a little more about what's going on, because to me, I feel like it seems like maybe someone is upset that they didn't, you know, like get as much shine as they may have wanted. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It seems, because to me, I don't want to believe this at all. Like, I don't want to believe this
really?
at all. No, not about Lizzo, because I feel like with Lizzo, she's been she probably is difficult to work with. Like, do not get it twisted. I feel like at the end of the day, like, there are some people who I think they know that their vision, because I'm like this too, like when I have a vision of something,
You want to be perfect.
I want it to be the way I visualized it, right? And so if some people are getting out of line, I'm gonna have to get it together, you know. But I'm not here to argue about whether or not, you know, Lizzo is difficult to work with, because she probably is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the fact that, like, someone is trying to kind of come out and be like, oh, like, not someone trying to come out, but like that Lizzo is being associated with that she is like, what she was like fat shaming her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, I can't even believe that. Like, that don't seem right to me. I don't add up. It's not adding up to me.
I've seen a lot of shit.
I hope it's not true.
I've seen a lot of shit. So it's like, when I first seen it, you know, you get your little batch. Okay, this batch of dancers. Then they said, oh, the creative director said the same thing. Oh, now they said somebody else over here said the same thing. So now I was like, okay, that's too many. There's a lot of, I guess in
too many heads saying the same thing.
Too many people.
Oh, that's about what she was saying about the dance.
About all that. So it's like,
yeah, I just don't want to believe.
If she fat shaming, look. I'm really not trying to go down that road, but all I'm saying
let's go down that road.
All I'm saying is just check yourself, bro. Because you know what I'm saying. I understand you got your platform, and I think you do an amazing job of things. But please, by God, please don't fat shame nobody, because you're not slim yourself. You know, stop always. I mean, I understand the people around you hype your head up. Oh, this, that, and the third, but that's not what it is, bro. And I'm sorry. You can hate me if you want. You can hate me if you
I don't
want.
feel like I could believe this. Like,
yeah.
That's why I'm like, I don't think this don't sound right. I mean, the only thing I could think is you could say in my mind. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't have the full details of the situation.
You feel like she was more passionate.
But maybe, definitely passionate.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, but maybe it was, you not moving as fast as I need you to move because you're dancing. Because you know you have to be able to have enough movement in your body to be able to do and look good on stage and do stuff like that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, so maybe this was like her saying, like, you need to become more limber and have more movement in your body, which is a very different thing than fat shaming.
I agree.
But you get what I'm saying?
That's a great pivot, though.
Yeah, that's what. That's what I think.
That
like,
she was doing instead of like.
Like that's why I'm like, maybe it wasn't like, oh, you got too big.
Oh, you need to lose like 20 pounds.
You need to
she
lose
wasn't direct. She was
but
more...
it's like, I need you to be hitting these movements. I need it to be sharp. I need it to, you know, that's what I want to believe. Like, I feel like she's like, I need it to be sharp. And maybe that's the part where, like, you know, the training and the working out comes in, is because you have to still hit the moves. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's what I want.
You know, that's good that you said that, because that could make a lot of sense in my opinion. I never thought about that. I ain't gonna lie. I thought she was really doing all that crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember they talked about the
Either or.
shit.
We wasn't in the room. Either or.
You're right.
It could have been either
there.
Keisha way, or what you just said, your way.
Yeah.
Like, meaning, like, you know, if she is,
she could have went crazy, or she was actually, you know, real passionate and she did it in a different way.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was the main, you know, the one that was crazy was the Amsterdam shit, where they went to Amsterdam and they was doing all this, like, I don't know, she talking about the banana. You heard about that one?
Yeah, nah.
She heard about it.
What's up?
I vaguely, wait, go ahead.
And then they had the, so they went to Amsterdam. You know, Amsterdam got all the, you know, red light district. You heard about that?
Yeah.
So basically, she went to the red light district and told them to do some shit with some of the people who, the sex performers. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't want to do it. But she was on an interview.
What, Lizzo said that?
Yeah, she made one of her dancers do some shit with a.
You can't make nobody do shit.
Exactly.
That would be absolutely insane if that's true.
And so that's the thing. Like, in that, what happened with that was she had an interview also talking about her seeing that kind of shit. So that was the crazy part about it for me. It was like, wow, she might have really did that shit. You know what I mean?
Man, look, all I'm saying is, when we from the outside looking in at the artist, bro, we could think they're one way, but behind the scenes they could be a whole different type of person. You never know. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't in that room. We don't know. All we have is opinion. So again, I hope Lizzo's doing the right things when it comes down to her team and everything like that. Please don't be talking about nobody moving how they move, whatever. And if you're passionate,
She can talk about people moving how they move because it's her show.
Yeah, she can. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
man,
nothing
don't
wrong with
talk
that.
about how people move because your ass,
No,
your ass.
She can
do
move,
that,
though, bro.
She can say that because that's like Beyonce not firing somebody because they can't do the moves. Like, that's crazy. That's absolutely insane. We can't no, she can talk about the moves. You ain't hitting the moves. You ain't hitting the moves. You need to get fired. Okay?
But it's a difference, goddamn, because she built like a whale, bruh. I'm gonna just say it how it is, bruh. Fuck that. Fuck that, bruh. She built like a whale, bruh. You can't tell nobody how to move and shit. Like, what the fuck? No. Hell no. Fuck that. I said it. You can hate me. I said it.
Hey, so
Now Beyonce could do that shit because she can move, goddammit. She still can move. But nah, bro, fuck that. I'm tired of y'all trying to trim the edges all each other. No, goddammit, she's big. She's obese. She's big.
Now you need to stop. Now you cross the line that you do not want to cross.
And you laughing.
Don't do it.
Nah,
I'm not laughing. I'm actually sitting here with a shocked face. I don't know if the camera caught that, but I'm like, oh my God.
Man, fuck that. That's what it is.
Nah, that's
you heard it
not
first, man.
cute.
On the bridge,
You can't
man.
do that.
That's what it is.
Oh Lord.
That's
I
it
get what you're
is.
saying,
If
which-
you big, you big. If you small, you small. Straight up and down.
y'all both right in the aspect of she can tell her dancers whatever. She paying them.
Bridge the gap, Kel. Please bridge the
yeah,
gap.
it's my turn. It's my turn.
That shit burnt.
If you are not moving in the way that your employer is telling you to move,
And you've been hired to
I don't
move
give
a
a damn.
certain way.
I don't give a damn if I'm 500, 1,000.
Is
If
the
I
employee
can't move,
big? Is the employee
you need to
big?
move how
Is
I
the
need you to
employee
move.
big?
It don't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's
I'm paying
irrelevant.
you. Who's getting? How's she getting paid,
Bro.
I'm paying you. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
it's
You have a choice to
irrelevant.
leave, bro. You feel me? But I get what you're saying. I understand in your perspective why you think like that. Why you feel.
All
like,
I'm saying is, bro, if her employer big, then that's different. But if her employer is skinny or whatever and she can't handle moves, okay, I get it. You know what I'm
Listen,
saying?
here, this
Fuck
is why
that.
this is why you're missing the point. Lizzo does not have to move any type of way.
She ain't gotta move.
She can literally just stand on stage and play her flute.
Well, her ass
no,
have
let me
no
let me
way
finish.
of saying.
Let me finish.
Her
She
ass
could let me
have no
finish.
way of
She could
saying
legit do
how the
that. She
motherfucker
could
move.
do that.
If your ass don't move how I move, bruh, you have no. Fuck that. Get another employee. Dance for Beyonce employee. Fuck
You know
that.
what? I'm moving on because I'm not about to sit here and go back and forth with you.
You ain't finna be sitting
Either way
laying
it
on no
goes,
couch
Hey,
and tell
y'all.
me how to move.
Listen. This is why I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong. Okay? Because rappers hire backup dancers all the time. If they not making the cut on how they moving, then they not making the cut on how
I
they moving.
understand.
So wait a minute, let me finish.
Okay,
'Cause
go
I'm
ahead and
passionate
finish.
about
Yeah,
this.
me too, goddammit.
Okay.
What's up?
I'm passionate about this. You are not going to sit up here and just say, "Oh, because she's big, that she should be not that she can't tell somebody that they can't move." She can. That's a very much. She has. It's
Looking at a
within-
person
It
moving,
is within,
looking at a person moving, laying my ass on the couch and singing is two different things. Now, if I'm Chris Brown and I'm like, bruh, you need to move, then I
No.
understand, bruh. I need to move,
No,
bruh. Fuck that.
It's like this. So when
No.
athletes go and they get hired to play football, the owner ain't got to do shit
at
bro.
all. Exactly.
The owner is paying the players.
Exactly.
He can cut somebody because that nigga ain't running
he ain't-
fast.
yes,
He ain't weighing
And
as
at
much.
some point in time,
Exactly.
and at some point in time, that owner played football.
No,
that is not
no.
true.
Come
Come
on.
on,
At some
stop.
point, at some
No.
point in
Stop.
time,
No, they didn't. No, they didn't, bro.
Okay.
Get out of here.
Jerry Jones did not play no
Okay.
football, bro.
At all.
None.
Look, stop
All right.
it.
A lot of
Stop
owners
it.
ain't playing.
All right,
Like, for real.
I hear you.
So it's the same. It's
Exactly.
literally the
So
same
stop
situation.
it. That's why I'm like, cut
if you
it
hire
out.
somebody to do like video work, you can't. You know what I'm saying? You can tell somebody they video work sorry, so you can fire them, but you can't. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No.
What?
you feel me? Like you
No.
have that authority.
You gotta
bro.
walk.
paying
You gotta
them.
walk the walk.
You know what, DJ 90? You can admit that you were wrong.
What you mean? I'm not, man, fuck that. That ain't wrong.
Hey,
You can just say, you
I ain't
right.
wrong.
You right.
I ain't wrong.
He's doubling down.
that boy, he on his boosie. So look,
Goddamn right.
we on Word on the Street. Y'all know what time it is, man. And before I get into the main crux of Word on the Street today, we're gonna talk about your boy Trump, man. Now, today, well, was it yesterday? It was yesterday. Yesterday, Trump was indicted in Georgia by the DA who indicted Young Thug on a RICO, which is crazy. So Trump's on a RICO. And the funniest shit is that who also was involved in this RICO is Rudy Giuliani, who was basically the originator of the RICO. So, which is even wilder. And I just want to say that before I get into the crux of it, because it's kind of wild. And that's his fourth indictment. And it's about to get wild out here, bro. And if Fani succeeds, she'll probably be the first black person to ever indict a president. Well, she already indicted him, so she's the first black person to indict a president, I'm pretty sure, ever. And if he's actually charged, she's the first black person to ever charge a president with a crime and get away with it, which is, shout out to her, some history shit. I know a lot of people don't like her because she locked up y'all favorite rapper, but it is what it is. It's a crazy achievement, but hey, we're going to move on to the main thing of Word on the Street today, and that is Kai Cenat. If y'all know who that is, we had talked about new media in the previous episode, and streaming is a big deal. Y'all better get with the times. I know y'all like TVs, movies, radio, and all this other stuff, but streaming is a big deal, and Kai Cenat is one of the biggest, if not the biggest streamer out there. And he recently held something like a pop-up charity drive and trying to give away PCs and video games and stuff like that to kids in New York and Times Square.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Now, what happened was that it started to get out of hand, you know what I'm saying? A lot of non-adult supervision caused a lot of children, because, he's big with kids and stuff like that, to cause a lot of damage in Times Square. A lot of people got injured, stomped on, basically just low-key mayhem, which caused him to get arrested. Him and a bunch of other people who were also involved to get arrested, and it became kind of a big deal. And obviously, like I said, streaming is new media, and with it being new media, I think, and I'm pretty sure, a lot of these people who are in streaming, doing streaming services and stuff like that, don't realize how popular they are and their actual influence on the people that are watching them. So, what do y'all think about that particular situation and what could happen in the future because of that?
I mean, for one, I think he should have started off, instead of letting everybody know that he was giving away PCs and all of that, I think he should have secretly rolled around town, picked out a few kids in there, and just gave them that. I think that would have been a better move for him in that whole ordeal. But I just think, justice was kind of served in a sense, because he did decide to write, and how certain people react to just getting free shit, who never had shit. It's always going to be, when you have that many people in one place, it's always going to be something that pops off, So I just think he should have just did that shit low key and kept it moving, bro.
He's not even really a low-key person, though. If you ask me, me seeing some of his videos, that's not on brand.
True.
That's not on brand for him. So I feel like it is one of those things where I'm looking at it. It sucks that it became like this riot and it got crazy and out of hand, because no one, I know that was not his intention. Mm-hmm. So it's over. To me, you think it was his intention?
No, I'm agreeing with you.
You said, but anyway, so, someone said, that means,
I said,
question mark. But no, so I feel like I know that was not his intention to create some type of, ruckus or craziness going on. So I feel like at the end of the day, I know his intentions were good.
Yeah, absolutely.
My friend, she's a publicist, she works with him. And so she's like, no, he's a good person. Mm-hmm. And so at least from working with him, because I had asked her, but I can tell it may not have been thought out, in the sense that it was just the thought was, I want to do something nice and I'm going to do it like this. And it wasn't, I don't think, maybe he didn't realize, he probably knows he has a large following, but I don't think he realized that large following was all going to show up at one place at one time.
Yeah. No,
because they're from around the world, I couldn't have made it to New York. So anyway, all that to say, I think that's really, it's sad that he's being getting a bad rap for it, or he's having to he's getting in trouble for something that I know his intentions were pure. Mm-hmm. And, but I think it's cool that you can legit build something up. Because I remember watching something that he was, an interview where he said when he first started out, he was saying, man, everybody's looking, you want to know. And he was like, nobody wanted to know. Nobody cared. But he legit kept focusing on doing what he was doing.
His craft, yeah.
He kept not perfecting it, but working on it and doing it. his consistency paid off. So I think that that's the best thing, is to see that journey and hear about that journey, and for him to be where he is now. You see the outcome, because a lot of times people paint success as this beautiful picture, or they paint it as like it's going to be this tough road, but they don't always talk about the little things in between, about being consistent. You know, that journey is not always focused on. It's usually, I want this result. You know what I mean? So I think that is. It's unfortunate that is he being charged for something? He's being
charged for inciting a riot, stress, damage, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Stuff that happens with riots. What you were saying, he's been doing this shit for years. I'm talking about like when he looked like a little kid when he first started. And like you said, it takes time to really build up all that stuff, and he is the biggest, I think, right now in terms of streaming, him and another dude named Speed, and and like I said, seeing these people come up from where they came, like, it's kind of crazy. It's obvious that he didn't know this was going to happen. He is a good kid. He has not really done anything terrible. Even on, like, some people, actors get, he did this shit on the side, whatever. He's never been one of those kind of people who've gotten in trouble or anything like that. So
that we know of.
That we know, allegedly. But yeah, he.
But I mean, he seems like. So this is like one of those things to me, and I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you good.
But like. Because from what I've seen for his videos, they're mainly in his like basement or something like that, in a room somewhere. I have no clue where this room is, but it seems like to me a lot of it is just kind of like, at least the videos I've seen, are just him in his own world, doing his own thing with his friends, doing crazy stuff, and it's not hurting anybody.
No.
You know what I mean? It's not at someone else's expense, even if he's laughing with his friends and they, are the joke or whatever. They know that's what they signed up for, but it's not like, him kind of, at least to me, like from what I've seen him, talking about people or saying something crazy, you know what I mean, about others. It's just like something going on in the room that he's doing.
Yeah, I think everybody who actually knows him knows he's a good, like, they know. When I first heard about this, I was like, he definitely didn't realize this was going to happen. Like, it's not one of those things like, he did this shit, and the media is going to blow that shit up because it's a young black kid who did it, rioted in New York. So of course that's going to be the thing. But I think if you know that he wasn't, he's not malicious in that intent. And shout out to him. He got out. He got bailed out that same day. So hopefully he's not charged too heavily because he did it for a good purpose. I mean, cause he didn't have a permit. That was another reason why. But he did everything for a good cause. So
Yeah. Man, well, hopefully, like when you just said, nothing happens to him. Everything is for a good cause.
He's gonna be all right.
He's gonna be
sure.
fine,
Be
definitely. If anything, this is just boosting up his star power, just to see everyone talk about that they think that he's a good person. So at the end of the day, I don't see that this will ruin him. You know what I mean? It's nothing to have been ruined because at the end of the day, it was outside of him, even though he's the one that put on, the giveaway.
Absolutely.
Or his name is associated with the giveaway, right? The riot itself had nothing to do. People sell shoes all the time, right? Like, they're not giveaways, but like people be waiting outside in line all the time. So in my mind, I'm like, at the end of the day, people are going to want something. They're going to go show up for it. The riots didn't have to happen. But that was not, that to me, it just didn't seem like that was something that came from him.
Damn, is it really worth a life or a fight for a PC? Like, I'm
People
speaking to the people that just did all the riot, and I'm like, damn.
People done get killed for some Jordans.
That's what I'm saying. It's not that serious for materialistic things, man. Y'all need to tighten up.
Yeah, well, I want to shift gears a little bit because this is something that we are not even talking about or haven't really talked about. Interracial dating.
Oh, man.
Is that a word does that a trigger word? When you guys hear interracial dating,
I think it's a beautiful thing.
It sounds like the
It's a beautiful
1900s.
it sounds like, oh my gosh.
It's like, I feel like it's just dating. I don't think interracial dating is like a thing.
It's not a thing anymore. Like, to you, it's kind of like whatever. You see it so much. It's like,
Yeah,
what
it's
is
a beautiful thing. The world changing, bro. It's like I feel like that could be the cure of racism right there.
No,
You know what I'm
pretty
saying?
much. I mean, I think it is.
Really?
It is literally the biological cure for
Yeah,
that shit.
it's like, bro, what can you say? I'm on both sides.
Yeah,
That's so funny.
automatically.
That's so funny.
Shout out to my boy Charles too, man. He black and white. His mom's white, his dad is black.
I did not know that.
Who
Yeah.
is Charles?
Yeah, I played football with him.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm like, who is shout out to Charles?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, hi, Charles. Okay, but no, so to me, you know, I used to be very triggered by this. Very
Really?
triggered, yes, as a black woman in
Yeah.
America. I was
I
very,
figured
very,
that's their thing, bro.
very triggered by this because it was a very divisive way of kind of doing things, in my opinion, right? Not just the actual act of interracial dating, but the way that I would see or hear people speaking down about black women and encouraging to go get
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
So it's why it's a trigger, you know, statement for me is because of
this nigga right.
yeah. And I used to hear guys say, oh, I don't want my baby to look like this, so they're going to go do this.
No, yeah,
I would hear that. So that's why
Yeah, that's crazy behavior. For real.
very, very triggering. So that to me, when I would hear it, I would be like, oh my God, like this is insane. But I will admit, I have dated a non-black man or two. Okay,
I
have
mean, it worked
dated
both ways,
I
I
have
feel like.
dated non-black guys, and I feel like that is why I'm like, to me, it used to trigger me because I would only be triggered because if I would think about the people saying that they don't want their babies to look a certain way, or that they would kind of talk badly about black women and make it seem as if, as black women, you're the problem, you know, you're not deserving
You talking about black males?
Or
it was either black men, mainly black men, or sometimes, and it's unfortunate, I may hear like, because the main one, the poster child of it, Kevin Samuels, I felt like he talked down about black women all the time. But I felt like that was a way of trying to devalue
Yeah.
black women. So on that same note, though, I used to say, like, when I would see a black man with a non-black woman,
Right.
that was what would trigger me. But if I saw a non-black man with a black woman, I was okay with it.
of course.
Yes, and I'm going to explain
Of
why.
course.
I'm going to explain why.
course.
Because
Yeah, go ahead.
the reason why I say this is because oftentimes when I would hear or see a black man with a non-black woman, he was like talking down on like black women or saying like, this is why I don't date black women. I'm, you know, making it seem as if all black women are all the
Terrible.
same or
Yeah.
terrible or, you know, and having such a like this bad rap. And so to me, that's why when I would hear stuff about black or see black men with non-black women, it was triggering because they talk down on black women. But if I saw a non-black man with a black woman, it was never that he was talking down on the black woman. He actually like lifted her up. You know what I mean? And I never heard him at the same time say, this is why I don't date white women. It was like my preference. I like black women. It wasn't that at the expense of talking down on white women.
Right.
Does that make sense? So that's
Yeah.
why, and I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but what I saw was this thing was like, black men had to devalue and talk down about black women in order to justify why being with a non-black woman was okay. Whereas a non-black man was saying, I love them because, and this is why I'm choosing them. It was never putting down someone, and that's why to me it's very different. To me, it's very different as a black woman, and you over here squirming in your seat.
Now, I'm listening.
You're
I'm
over here
listening.
squirming in
I'm
your seat
listening.
because
I'm
your
listening.
experience is different, and I would love to hear it because I
can't
know
wait.
at the end of
Nah,
the day.
I ain't
Let me finish.
tripping.
I know at the end of
I
the
ain't
day.
tripping.
At the end of the day, we have two different experiences, right? I be hearing the things you say, and I don't be squirming in my seat because I do sometimes be like, "What is he
What
talking
did I
about?"
do?
But I want to hear your thoughts. But
Oh,
I'm
my
trying to
goodness,
say
Lord.
it's never when a non-black man, okay, let's just say, okay, when a non-black man is dating a black woman, I feel like I see it and it's like, it's you've looked past all of these negative stereotypes or different things to say like, oh, something's wrong with them. And you said, no, I'm going to go after you despite that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that to me is the difference in my experience that I have. And like, I want to hear what y'all think because I'll get into my dating, my dating experiences when I've dated or was in an interracial relationships or, I mean, going out on dates with non-black men. But I want to hear what y'all have to say because I'm curious.
I think you got to go because you already know I'm a...
What? Go ahead.
All right, so look. All right. I mean, my thing is, I agree with you. You know, yes, there are black men who definitely down black women whenever they talk about interracial dating. That's a fact. And it sucks. You know what I mean? It's they use their experiences with black women. Mind you, it's usually in one area, one small sample size, and they use that to generalize all black women.
Absolutely.
And that's foolish.
Yeah.
There are women who are, from the north, from the south, from the west, outside of the country. They're all completely different. I met them all, talked to them all. They're just different black women in general. It is what it is. Different regions. So they're not all going to be the same. And so when somebody dates all black women from the south and they have this idea about black women from the south, you're gonna have a generalization, but you're gonna think that's all black women, and that's just not true. You know what I mean? Not to say black women from the south are bad. I love y'all. I swear to God. But what I'm saying is, I don't think you should ever just generalize an entire group of women in general, white, black, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think you should definitely, if you like somebody, meet them, date them if you want to, take it further if you want to. Just don't ever generalize and think it's going to be hokey. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be whatever. And when it comes to dating outside of your race, do it. I mean, if you have a genuine bond, just go ahead and do that.
Yeah, that's the difference.
And I've never, when it came to dudes that I knew that were not black and went with black women, they were cool dudes. Some, some of my best friends that were white who have black wives, amazing men. You know what I'm saying? It's never been a black and white thing. It's just I love that girl. You know what I'm saying? Like it just is what it is. So, I don't have any big opinion about interracial dating. Do what you do. I would love to find me somebody. I don't care if they're black or white, whatever. I'm gonna just do it. You know what I'm saying? Genuine is genuine. It is what it is. I get what you're saying though. Niggas do definitely generalize. White men do generalize too though. You know
they do. Absolutely.
We all do that.
Black men, not niggas. Black men.
No, there's a difference. Don't even start. There's a difference between a black man and a nigga, so let's not even go there. There's a difference. It's a mentality.
Wow.
So we are not about to sit up here. I am so big on that.
That's a hard one to call. I don't know.
No, it is. There's a difference between a boy and a man, just like there's a difference between a boy and a man. There's just a difference between a nigga and a black man.
Niggas generalize for sure. Niggas definitely generalize.
I'm just saying.
Niggas definitely generalize.
Man. Love who you love, man. Be together, peace and harmony. It is what it is. And that's it.
What do you think about interracial dating?
Or if you love, or what you think about what I had to say? Because I'm curious to know that.
No, nothing. I mean, hey, from the experience that you said, it happens. It happens. And love who you love.
Love that. I think that's great because I think that's all you should have to say. And because at the end of the day, because it is at the end of the day, my experience is my experience, right? And it is what it is. And I know for sure that it's like, it sounds crazy to say like, oh, a black man being with a non-black woman I was triggered by it, but to see a non-black man with a black woman, I was okay with it. Yeah. It's because, like I said,
it's because your experience. I mean, that part. Yeah. I mean, dudes. I ain't gonna lie. When I was in college, this shit was funny because we used to talk about it every now and then. Going to college, we're gonna talk about, oh yeah, that white girl, whoop. You know what I'm saying? Just on some crazy shit, right? And then you would see a white dude with a black girl. We'd be like, you know what I'm saying? What's going on? What's going on with that? You feel me? Like you want to think about like why would she do that? It's generalizations, obviously. You know what I'm saying? It's assumptions because you don't know personally. You know what I mean? But when you get older, you start to understand it is what it is, bro. Like she was that dude. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I think the more current relationship I've seen, I think what's the name? Chili going out with Buddy from that old show back in the day. I forgot what it's called, but he has like it's a group of brothers that were actors back in the 90s. She going out with him. He's white. I mean, they look like they're having fun. You know what I'm saying? I don't see no problem with it. Like today, I just don't see problems with that kind of dynamic today. So it's like I said, interracial dating to me sounds like 1900s back in the days where we actually cared about that kind of shit. I think today is fine. Yeah. It's 2023.
You know
what I'm saying? We on the next level. You feel me?
Yeah, we definitely on the next level. But I have been when we was going to say about when we was going to talk about this. I did a few research on just how other people think about that and everything, and Dr. Umar. He just does, Dr. Umar. He look at the political aspect of the thing and the economic thing, and I see where he coming from when it comes to just taking the money out of the community, But me personally, I feel like it is what it is, So
no, yeah, I mean, with Dr. Umar, it's I understand, we got Marcus Garvey, them type of dudes. What I'm saying? Back then, obviously, we were trying to find an escape plan because it was looking kind of dire out here for us. You know what I'm saying? And I get that, but in my opinion, I don't think it's that big of a deal because love who you love. You said it earlier. Mm-hmm. That's just what I'm on.
That's why I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
Okay, loving who you love is just that. Like, I can't argue with that, like, at all. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I say, like, it's when it started to seem as if it was about tearing down a group of people, then it started to become a problem, especially because if I was a part of the group of people who you were tearing down, especially because I know that, like, I'm a wonderful woman, okay? And I'm not saying that just because I'm, like, to my own horn, but, like, I have healthy relationships with friends, you know what I mean? And just, I have healthy relationships, period.
Right.
Okay? And so that's why, to me, I look at it like, don't just be trying to sit up here and say, oh, Black women, something wrong with you. So that's why, I look at it too, like, if all these, so this is how I've justified this too. If a lot of divorces, what is it, like 50% or plus marriages end in divorce?
Like 70.
70 now?
It's
Oh,
nasty.
Lord. And I feel like, and Black women are not being married. To me, I see a correlation. If the divorce rate is so high and Black women are not being married, like, they're like, that tells me go get you a Black woman. Because you probably won't have this high of a divorce rate, if you ask me. That's how I'm justifying these numbers. Because I'm like, if that's the case, like, you probably don't even know, like, what you're really missing out on.
No, for real.
Exactly. So that's why, to me, I'm like, But I want to definitely get into Keish done said it. Because we have another relationship situation. And I am curious to know what you guys think about this. Because it's actually the couple, they are not interracial. They're both Black. And I want to know what you guys think. Because what we didn't talk about a little bit before we got into Keish and said when we're talking about interracial relationships, the different gender roles that play out with different relationships in general.
That's a good one.
Yes, so the different gender roles that actually play out, because like I said, I've dated non-Black men and all of them have talked to me kind of the same, whereas they've wanted to take care of me. Like, look, you shouldn't be working this hard, or, like I will take care of you. All these different things. Like, I've always found that across the board. And I'm not saying I'm trying to generalize, but my experience from the people who I have dated that were not Black, they've all talked to me the same.
Did you trust that, though?
I never even explored it deep enough to find out whether or
Okay.
not I should have trusted or not.
Yeah.
Because I thought that I was going to be with a Black man. So to me, I'm like, ooh, this is kind of, I don't want, and I'm not going to use you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to just take what you can offer me and be like, okay, good, I got it. And I'm cool with it. No, like, I genuinely was like, okay, if I'd want to be with a Black man, and this man is talking to me about taking care of me, I don't want to entertain this longer if I don't see me being with him down the line. I don't want to hurt him. And I do the same thing, like, even with a Black guy, if, like, I'm not seeing that it's going the way I would want it to go, or, like, it's not showing up, like, I'm going to be honest. And I've always said that. I owe if we're dating, I don't owe you loyalty. I owe you honesty.
Right.
So I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be, at the very least, you're going to know where I stand. And if you don't know where I stand, it's because, no, I always tell you where I stand. So anyway, so that's why, to me, it's not that I can say I trusted it or not. It's more like, I wish I kind of explored it more to know, like, is this the truth? You know what I mean? Because on the other end, you know, I never really got that from a black guy. And I thought that was really who I wanted. And I wanted them to speak to me like that. So that way I would be like, ooh, I feel completely safe here and I want to be with this person.
Okay.
But I didn't get that. So to me...
Do you feel like more black men should have came at you like that?
I can't say that they should have. It's just, I think that there's not an understanding. I feel like a lot of times, in my opinion, I feel like I said, I've talked to like my friends, like we would talk, they're raising their household, like make sure you find someone who's going to look after you.
Yeah.
Like I never was taught that in my household. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of times, sometimes some black men, they see their mother struggle. Like, I hate that it's like they've seen their mom struggle or their dad may not have been present in the household. And they're like thinking that this is the standard of how a woman should behave. She should be having 17 different jobs and wearing herself out. And that this is your understanding of like what a black woman is supposed to do. Or if my mom did it, you should do it.
I think as a child,
that's so unhealthy.
As a child,
your mom didn't want to do that.
I don't think their mothers were telling them, make sure if you have a black woman, you should take care of them. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that was the conversation.
Exactly.
So that's why that didn't happen. You know, other racial family dynamics are more like, they actually talk and have like meetings and shit. I had homies who were like, I gotta talk with my parents. We're gonna have a 20-minute talk or 30-minute talk. Like, what the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I never heard no shit like that. But that's why, is because we don't have these. This is what you should be. You know what I'm saying? When you get older, kind of conversations with our parents like that. Yeah. So I don't. Some men who are able to do that, black men. You know what I'm saying? That's rare. It just is. 'Cause I remember when you told me about this. When we talked about that, what you just said, I had to think about it. I was like, why don't we do that? And I think that's why, because we never came up with, we're supposed to. I think I was told by my female relatives to not trust y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's the main thing.
Interesting.
So it's like, be smart about who you're dealing with. You know what I mean? Whenever I got with somebody, be wary. It was never protect her. She's a queen. And nah, she might be a little, you know what I mean? She gonna fuck you up type shit. You feel me? So you better be. So that's the dynamic.
That's
you know
unfortunate,
I mean? Especially
when
a lot of us come out of poverty.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing. You don't want nobody to finesse your son. And your son already don't have enough already.
Exactly.
So, it's family dynamics.
It's a lack mindset for sure. Yeah. Like thinking like, well, it's not that you're thinking that, they could go.
Mama, I love you.
Because it's not like you thinking like, y'all can go build together. Yeah. It's like, you don't want her to take what you got. Like, whoa, wait a minute. Yeah, but the understanding the responsibility of what it means for gender roles. You know what I mean? And being able to have an understanding, because at the same time, not every woman wants to just be taken care of. I never said like, I just want to be taken care of. I want to know that my man will do that. And that's where his heart is. And that's how he's going to operate and show me like, I want to look after you. Not just financially, but just in all of the different aspects of like, I want you to know your heart is safe with me. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so it's just different things like that.
And it's another thing, like I had a father who took care of him. I seen him be with my mother. So I had a visual.
Yeah, same.
But I knew what my mother was saying to me was what my homies who had a single mother was saying to them, because we always agreed with that. And it's like, I had a visual to follow. They didn't.
Yeah.
So while I followed my father's way to, treat women, they didn't have anything.
Absolutely.
And so that's another reason why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. We just took a little detour, but I think it was worth.
No, absolutely.
It was worthy of kind of mentioning that and understanding. Like sometimes we're gonna have to get into that more, on another episode where we kind of talk about, our upbringings and how that may have impacted us to the adults that we are today. Right. Because there are many influences that we all have that we never really talked about or hashed out that can cause us to be who we are. And say the things that we say, do the things that we do. Because The trust, that's so sad, because at the end of the day, like, that's the whole thing. Like, we could say the same thing about, like, oh, the guy, he's just going to try to have sex and leave, so you shouldn't trust him. So it's like, we got to work on that. You know what I mean? So we have to work on that. That's definitely
what I would tell my daughter, like, don't fuck that nigga.
Yeah.
Do not trust that nigga.
Absolutely, because it's definitely one of those things where you have to teach her the ways of a man in order for her to understand how to interact with a man. Facts. You know what I mean? So, absolutely. Well, that long detour now brings us back to Keish Jensen, okay? Because, like I mentioned earlier, it is a relationship situation. They're both black. So, that's what I'm saying. There's two sides of everything, like, you know. Okay, so here it is. We're about to get into it. My boyfriend and I have been living together for 3 years. Things started out great for the first 2 years. We had arguments here and there like any other couple. For the past 6 months, things have started to turn for the worse. We've been fighting and arguing over things that don't even seem to be real arguments. For instance, he cooked dinner for us and I was going to clean up after. I was so tired and said I'll do the dishes in the morning. He got upset, called me lazy, and then we were going back and forth. And he said that he can't be with a lazy woman and that I need to find a new place to live. I felt so disrespected because I cook and clean after this man all the time. He pays majority of the bills and I get the smaller bills. I have tried to show this man that I am the woman he wants and needs, but he still seems to be pushing me away and picking arguments for no reason. Recently, we got into an argument about a phone charger and things got escalated. He claimed that I took his charger with me to work and that left him unable to charge his phone, and he made it bigger than what it was. He told me that I needed to start looking for a new place to stay. He knows I can't afford to live alone. He tried to walk back on it and said that he didn't mean it, but I can't unhear it. I need advice because I'm on an emotional roller coaster. It's hard living based on whether or not a man wants to be with me or not. What do I do?
Take the flow.
Oh, man, shit, that nigga cheating. Straight up and down. That is.
So that's the first. First of all, that's a contextual thing. I don't know their dynamic. You know, she could say that. I don't know how she really is, but going by what she's saying, his actions are definitely like, I got other options, honestly. I ain't really worried about you. I mean, I'm not about to flip and be like, get the hell out of my house because you ain't washing no dishes. Like, that's kind of next level.
Facts.
Because, you know, I've gotten to a point where I've had to feel like I had to kick somebody up, but it was never a dishes? No. Hell no. Nah. Like, you know what I mean? Phone charger? That's like, I got options. Like, I ain't worried about
petty shit.
Yeah, it's petty. Shit. It's too petty. So, definitely, in my opinion, you know, leave. If you feel it, leave. You know what I'm saying? That's just both sides, men and women. If you feel it, leave. That's a red flag. When you see a red flag, you already know what it is.
I mean, it's
in the air is waving like a motherfucker.
There's nothing wrong with growing apart, bro. At some point in time, you grow apart. It's just all about the work you put into the relationship to keep it together.
Yeah,
you know.
No, facts.
I mean, you be complacent. You know, you feel like you got a lot of options. You feel like, you know, you conquered everything you wanted to conquer, and when you get to a certain point in time, you feel like you can say or do anything that you want to do. So I feel like he got other options. He cheating, and he just on that petty shit. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to. I was like, oh, that sounds like he got, like you said, options.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because that was too escalated too quick, you know, for it to be about that. So
I will say this though: do dishes after you do the. It's how you get roaches. I just want to say that. Like,
I mean, if you have dinner, bro, if you eat, even if you by yourself, this is how it works. If you eat your plate, say you eating your plate, whatever, you done with your plate, wash the shit out right there and put it up. Yep. You don't have no dishes piling up in the sink. You won't have to do all that extra work. Just clean up after yourself individually. It don't have to be like, okay, you do dishes, I'll cook that up. Hell no. If she cook or whatever, of course, you wash the dishes while she's cooking. Clean up after when she's cooking so you won't have to do all that. That's petty shit.
But what I'm getting from this is that she says she's cooks and cleans after him all the time. So I don't think I don't think they're distributing the duties.
No order. That's
what I'm saying. I don't think he's distributing, like when she's cooking and cleaning, I don't think that he's doing it as well.
Exactly.
So to me, it was a strange, I mean, he is paying the bills, the big bills or whatever, but like it did seem strange that just because she wasn't doing this, she was going to do the dishes in the morning, he called her lazy. And that made me think, I'm like, he definitely got to be talking to somebody, because the person he probably talking to is probably like, ooh, she only paid, like, you know, she only doing this or she's only doing that. Like, I think somebody is in his
Somebody
ear.
definitely, yeah, most likely in his
Somebody
ear.
is in his ear making it seem like what he has at home is not enough, or it needs, like, it should be better. You know what I'm saying? And so I was just like, ooh, that is not a good place to be at all.
It's not safe, you know what I mean?
And she said she can't afford to live alone, though. So that's why it's like, where does she go? Like, how?
This is why I feel like if you're, you know what I'm saying, don't ever rely on somebody else, you know what I'm saying, as a woman. Y'all have the hardest, you know what I'm saying, out here. Not even on no, like, you know, big shit on that. You know what I mean? Just real shit, y'all have it hard. So y'all got to realize, you know, you're at a disadvantage even more than black men, because y'all don't have the opportunities that we do. So when you're with a man, don't ever let him have that kind of power over you. You know what I'm saying? In terms
I
of
think
shelter.
that's what kind of leads them into like scamming and all this other shit, trying to get a quick buck because they have the disadvantage.
Yeah, 'cause y'all-
which
yeah.
is unfortunate.
Yeah, definitely.
What, women scamming?
I mean, stripping,
my.
strip type
Yeah.
shit. You know
Oh.
what I'm saying? Putting y'all on
They
a
want
very provocative
scammers and shit. That,
everything,
you know, drug dealers and shit.
yeah, all of that. Because, you know,
Because
definitely.
they can get quick money and put it to the side,
Yeah.
and when something ends up happening to that individual, they can move on to the next.
Never give your partner that much power to where if everything goes bad, y'all left down bad. You know what I'm saying? So with her, I wouldn't know what to do. I mean, if he is, definitely stack your money up right now. You know, so do it right now and then plan on your escape, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And inflation is crazy.
Yeah, all the
Inflation is
shit.
crazy. So because it is, a lot of things are just jumping up. You know, the prices are like, whoop, they high.
Yeah.
So it is like one of those things where it's like, oh, wow. You know, she probably at one point could have, but now she probably can't. I don't know. But, you know, so it is definitely, it's tough. That's tough. That's hard, because I definitely, like I said, what I got from this was that he's cheating, and that you don't even want to be in a relationship with someone like that who's just so quick and willing to just say, get out. Because I think that this has been something that has been on his mind, and he's been wanting to say.
Right? No, yeah.
You know, so, yeah. Well, that's Keish Done Said It. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We want to know, what more do you want to see from us? What other content are you guys interested in? Because we want to make sure that we're doing things that you guys are interested in seeing as well.
No, for
because at the end of the day, we love to get up here and talk, but we want to know what y'all want to hear as well. So
Most
definitely.
Most
Stay tuned, though. We got
most
more stuff to come.
Well, I go by the name of DJ 9D. That's Kel,
You hope.
Keisha. You can follow us on the Bridge ATL on Instagram, as well as the YouTube. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We love y'all. Peace.